Good morning, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. So today's video, I will be discussing three-dimensional force system. So ito pong video na to is a continuation of my lecture 2, which is a discussion about forces. So today, yung force naman po is mag-a-act sa three-dimensional space. Kumbaga, yung force, we have here three components, the Fx, Fy, and Fz. So looking in this figure, we have here force F from 0 to this point. We have here force F. So to get the component of this one, so we have here Fx, Fy, and Fz. Then we all know that I and J and K represents the direction or the axis, no? So dito nakalagay. So we have here the formula F is equivalent kay the square root ni Fx squared plus Fy squared plus Fz squared. So kumbaga makikita mo dito parang cube siya, 'di ba? So yung from point to point dito para makuha natin yung value niyan, square root lang nung Fx squared plus Fy squared plus Fz squared. Or either kapag scalar component pa yung ano natin, yung value ng F, we have here F is equivalent kay Fx1 plus Fyj plus Fzk. And we all know that the value of Fx, Fy, and Fz is this one. So we have here F is equivalent kay F times 1 cosine theta x plus J cosine theta y plus K cosine theta z. Then, itong formulang pong nandito sa ilalim is halos pareho lang po yan na nandyan. Dito kasi is yung L, ito, L is equivalent kay cosine theta x, M is equivalent kay cosine theta y, and N is cosine theta z. So, pinaiklit niya lang siya, pero dito pa rin siya manggagaling, no? Okay, so, babasahin ko lang muna kung ano yung nasa slides ko kasi mas maiintindihan nyo yan kapag sinolve na po natin or nagsasolve na po tayo, no? Okay, so under three-dimensional force system pa rin, specifications by 2 points on the line of action. So kumbaga dito ay points yung binigay. So 2 points. So we have here F, wait, we have here F is equivalent kay F and F is equivalent kay F, yung value ng F ito, times yung segment AB. So the segment AB is ito siya, value niya. Then we have here line AB is yung buong line niya, no? Okay, to get the value of segment AB, so kumbaga component siya. So dito we have here x sub 2 minus x sub 1i plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1i j plus z sub 2 minus z sub 1 k all over the square root of x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 quantity squared plus z sub 2 minus z sub 1 quantity squared. Specifications by two angles with which orients the line of actions of the force. So we have here this figure para dito sa letter B. So we have here force F na may angle theta phi and angle phi pala at angle theta dito. Okay? So to get the value of Fx ito, so we have here cosine phi, opposite, adjacent, tapos hypotenuse. So we have here Fx is equivalent kay F cosine phi. Then Fz, to get the value of Fz ito, we have here F sine phi. Then to get the value of Fx and Fy, we have here Fx ito nandito. So kukunin po muna itong Fxy, tapos i-cosine mo lang ulit para makuha mo yung value ng Fx. Then, same din sa Fy. So, to get the Fy, we have here Fx sine phi. So, opposite po nitong, ito yun. Then, pwede rin natin gamitin na F is equivalent kay cosine phi, cosine theta, or either F cosine phi sine theta. No? So, later, natin yan kung paano yan magagamit or ma-apply sa problem. So, solve po tayo ng problem. So, we have here problem number 1. A force F of a magnitude of 100 Newton is applied at the origin O of the axis X, Y, and Z as shown. The line of actions of F passes through the point A whose coordinates are 3 meters, 4 meters, and 5 meters. Determine A, the X, Y, and Z scalar component of F. Letter B, the projection of f x y of f on the xy plane and the projection FOB of f along the line OB. So we have here the line this force F, which is 100 Newton from line O to A. And given naman yung coordinates, which is 3 meters along x-axis, 4 meters along y-axis, and 5 meters along z-axis. Then ang question po is, question number 1, determine the x, y, and z scalar components. So, yung F in terms of I, J, and K. Then yung letter B, the projection of Fx, Y. So si Fx, Y along xy plane, ito yung x natin at ito yung y plane natin. So Fxy is itong from point O to this point. Then, last question, the projection FOB. So ibig sabihin, dito daw sa line OB, magkakaroon ng component na isa. No? From force 100, magkakaroon ka ng component na dito nag-act sa line OB. So, para mas maintindihan ninyo, sagutan po natin siya isa-isa. No? So, we have here this figure. So, to get the component, since meron akong line force OA, magkakaroon niya ng component kung sakali, di ba? So, ito po yung component niyan. So, ganyan yung component. So, we have here component this, Fx, kasi along x-axis siya. Then, dito, Fy, kasi along y-axis. And we have here Fz along z-axis. Okay. So, to get the value of yung first question, which is naka-scalar component pa yung ano natin. So, dito ako magsusulat. Solution. Letter A. Number 1. So, letter A, we have here F is equivalent kay force multiplied by yung based dun sa formula natin, O to A, segment O to A, all over yung line na OA, or yung total value ng OA. So, we have here F, which is equivalent kay 100 Newton. Then, si OA is yung nagre-represent ng I, yun yung coordinates niya, no? So, ito yung coordinates. Kumbaga, represented by I, J, and K. So, we have here 3 along x-axis. So, we have here 3I plus along y-axis, we have here 4. So, 4J plus along z-axis, we have here 5. So, 5K. All over. Si OA is yung kabuuang length nung ito. From O to A, yung buong length na to. Yun po yung line OA. So, we have here square root ni coordinates 3 squared plus 4 squared plus 5 squared. Therefore, we have here F is equivalent kay calculator. Okay. 100 times 3 all over the square root ni 3 squared plus 4 squared plus 5 squared. So, unahin po muna natin yung 3i. Okay? So, we have here 42.426i plus yung 4 naman po, 4j. So, we have here 100 times 4 over the square root nitong sa ilalim. We have here plus 56.569j plus yung 5 naman po, 100 times 5k all over square root ni 3 squared plus 4 squared plus 5 squared. We have here 70.71k. Okay, so this F is equivalent kay 42.426i plus 56.569j plus 70.71k is the scalar component po nung F. Okay? So kung ito yung scalar component po ng F, so therefore, the value 42.426i is fx, itong fx po yun, itong fx na to. Then 56.569j is yung fy. Then itong 70.71 is yung fz po yan. Okay? So, yan po yung sagot sa letter A. Okay, letter B. Line projection fxy of f on the xy plane. Okay. So, to get the value of, ito po, yung force fxy. fxy. Diyan po siya mag-a-act yung value ng fxy. So, to get the value of fxy here, so kailangan ko munang kunin yung angle na to. Para makuha po yung angle na to, so we have here, di ba, 3 and 4 to. Para makuha ko yung length na tong buong length na to, so we have here the square root of 3 squared plus 4 squared. Then, yung buong length na to is itong nasa ilalim, di ba? So, kung meron akong length na to, may length ako na to, may length ako nito, tapos meron, ito yung hinahanap ko, tama bang cosine lang siya? So, sabihin ko ito ay angle theta x, y. So, we have here letter B. Answer. We have here cosine theta x, y is equivalent kay adjacent over hypotenuse. Si adjacent po ay itong value na nandito. So, ito po ay square root ni 3 squared plus 4 squared. All over hypotenuse. Ang hypotenuse po natin ay square root ni 3 squared plus 4 squared plus 5 squared. Therefore, theta xy is equivalent kay arc cosine the square root ni 3 squared plus 4 squared all over square root ni 3 squared plus 4 squared plus 5 squared. We have here angle theta x is equivalent kay 45 degrees. Okay, so kung may angle 45 degrees ka na, tama bang cosine 45 degrees is equivalent kay adjacent f x y all over f, which is 100. So, therefore, we have here f x y is equivalent kay f cosine 45 degrees. f x y is equivalent kay 100 cosine 45. Therefore, f x y is equivalent kay 100 cosine 45 is equivalent kay 70.71 Newton. Okay. So, ito po yung value ng fxy. Or either simply, di ba sa fxy ito, sa fxy is the Pythagorean, kumbaga, hypotenuse nitong fx and fy. So, to get the value of fxy, pwede natin sabihin, another solution to is square root ng value ng fx squared plus fy squared. So, we have here, this one is represented by fx, ito is si fy, at ito si fz. Tama? So, therefore, we have here 42.426 squared plus 56.569 squared. We have here fxy, which is equivalent kay square root ni 42.426 squared plus 56.569 squared. So, we have here fxy is 70.71 Newton. So, halos pareho lang po siya. Okay? Okay, so let's proceed to another question. Letter C. Okay, dito na ako siguro magsusulat. Adjust ko na lang po ito. Okay, so si letter C po, ang question po sa letter C ay the projection FOB of F along line OB. So, we have here line OB, ito. This one is line OB. So, ibig sabihin daw, isa sa mga component or, kumbaga, yung fxy kanina is transfer natin from 100 to fxy. So, ngayon naman, yung 100, ita-transfer natin from OB. Ito. Okay? So, to get the value of this OB, we have here, letter C, formula, FOB is equivalent kay, value ng FOB is equivalent kay force multiplied by NOB. Okay. Si force is itong force natin kanina na na-compute dito. Si NOB is the component, no, ng coordinates. Okay. So, una-una natin kukunin muna si NOB. So, let's solve for NOB. NOB is equivalent kay, parang kagaya lang na ginawa natin dito. Oh. So, kung nakikita nyo si NOB, we have here 6 and 2 coordinates. So, lalabas, we have here 6i plus 6j plus 2k all over square root ni 6 squared plus 6 squared plus 2 squared. Yan po yung NOB natin. Therefore, NOB is equivalent kay, unahin ko muna yung 6. We have here 6 all over the square root ni 6 squared plus 6 squared plus 2 squared. We have here 0.69. 0.688i plus 0.688ij plus, okay, 2 over the square root ni 6 squared plus 6 squared plus 2 squared. We have here 0.229k. Okay. Ngayon, itong NOB is ilalagay po natin doon sa value na yon. So, we have here FOB is equivalent kay force F. Yung force F natin is ito. Nasa ilalim to. So, we have here 42.426i plus 56.569j plus 70.71k multiplied by the value ng NOB, which is 0.688i plus 0.688j plus 0.229k. Okay? So, para makuha natin yung FOB, pagsamahin lang po natin yung parehong may I, may J, at may K. So, FOB is equivalent kay 42.426 times 0.688 plus 56.569 multiplied by 0.688 plus 70.71k times 0.229. Therefore, FOB is equivalent kay 42.426 multiplied by 0.688 plus 56.569 multiplied by 0.688 plus 70.71 times 0.229. We have here 84.30. 84.30 Newton. So, this will be the value of FOB. Okay, to get the scalar component of FOB, so itong FOB, multiply mo lang dun sa ito. So, therefore, we have here, wala na, dito siguro. So, we have here FOB in scalar component, we have here 84.30 multiplied by 0.688i plus 0.688j plus 0.229k. Okay, FOB is equivalent kay 84.30 multiplied by 0.688 88. We have here 57.998i plus pareho lang po nito. We have here 57.998j plus 84.30 multiplied by 0.229. We have here plus 19.305k. Therefore, ito yung FOB, force OB na naka-scalar component pa siya. No? Okay. So, I do hope na naintindihan nyo pa yan sa sobrang kalat. No? Okay. So, next problem po tayo. Pag pinag-uusapan kasi si space, talagang medyo mahirap na siyang kumbaga mahirap siyang intindihin kasi nga tatlong forces na yung gumagalaw sa isang force, no? Kumbaga yung isang force is ano mo siya ng tatlong component agad. Pero pag nasanay naman kayo, madali lang yun para sa inyo. Okay, let's have problem number 2. So we have here the three-dimensional force system. Under three-dimensional force system, express the 900-pound force F as a vector in terms of the unit vector I, J, and K. Determine the projection of F onto the y-axis. Okay. So di ba meron tayong formula kanina na yung F multiplied by x sub 2 minus x sub 1 I plus x sub y sub 2 minus y sub 1 j plus z sub 2 minus z sub 1 k all over the square root ni x sub 2 minus x sub 1 squared plus y sub 2 minus y sub 1 squared plus z sub 2 minus z sub 1 squared. Ba? Natatandaan nyo ito kanina? Okay, ito po is from point to point, no? Point to point. So, dito sa given kasi na problem, we have here point to point. So, we have here, sabihin kong ito is x1. We have here x1, y1, and say 1. And x2, y2, and say 2. Okay? So, para mas ano natin, so pwede ko nang kunin yung value, no? Okay. Solve natin. Okay. Solution. Number 2. We have here formula F is equivalent kay F and F, which is force multiplied by line segment AB ulit over line AB. Therefore, sabihin kong si X is equivalent kay, kukunin ko agad yung x sub 2 minus x sub 1. So we have here 60 x sub 2 minus x sub 1, which is plus 48. Then si y, which is y sub 2 minus y sub 1, 30 plus 25. Then si z, which is z sub 2 minus z sub 1, 40 minus 20 equals. Ito ay lalabas 108, 55, and 20. Therefore, we have here F, which is equivalent kay 900 pounds, multiplied by segment AB. Ang AB ko ay 108I plus 55J plus 20K all over the square root ni 108 squared plus 55 squared plus 20 squared. Therefore, F is equivalent kay 900, unahin ko muna yung 108, 900 times 108 all over the square root of 108 squared plus 55 squared plus 20 squared. So, we have here 791.29 I plus 55. Yung 55 naman po. 900 times 55 all over the square root of 108 squared plus 55 squared plus 20 squared. We have here 402.972 97J plus 900 times 20 all over the square root of 108 squared plus 55 squared plus 20 squared. We have here 146.53 K. So, unit is in pounds. Okay? So, yun. Then, pinapahanap po is determine the projection of F. Determine the projection of F onto the y-axis. So, ibig sabihin yan ay yung si F, y. So, sabi ko kanina, yung I represents x-axis, J represents y-axis, and K represents z-axis. Therefore, pinapahanap dyan sa question is si F, y. Fy is equivalent kay 402.97 pounds. Ito po yung value ng Fy. Okay? Pero ito po yung yung ito, vector ijk. F in terms of vector ijk po tayo. Okay. Okay? So, next problem po tayo. Next problem. We have here cable extent a tension of 2 kilonewton and a fixed bracket at A. Write the vector expression of the tension T. Okay, so we have here this figure. So, meron daw tayong cable from A to B na may 2 kilonewton na nag-hold para dito sa structure natin na to, no? Okay, so pinapahanap daw po yung T in terms of X, in terms of I, J, and K. Okay, so we have here solution number 3. Ito na siguro. Solution number 3. Number 3. Okay, so we have here formula. T is equivalent kay T times line segment AB all over line AB ulit tayo. Line AB, segment AB equals yung segment AB natin, so kailangan natin lang na ma-identify yung coordinates ng A to B. Okay? So we have here T, which is equivalent kay 2 kilonewton. Ito ko na lang sulat na. T is equivalent kay 2 kilonewton. Yung segment AB, so ito si x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. So we have here yung distance from x-axis is equivalent kay 1.2. So we have here 1.2. Negative 1.2 I. Then we have here the distance of z-axis, y-axis pala. So we have here from this point sa O to point B, we have here 0.5. So positive 0.5 J plus distance from Z-axis, itong Z-axis natin is ito. So we have here 0.4, but at point A, meron tayong height pa na 0.3. So ibig sabihin 0.3 minus 0.4 minus 0.3. So we have here 0.1 K all over the square root ni 1.2 squared plus 0.5 squared plus 0.1 squared. Okay. Wala yan absolute value. Multiply pa. Okay. Bakit po nag-negative 1.2i po yung nandito? Okay. Si negative 1.2i is kasi ang arrow po natin is papunta sa left. No? Ibig sabihin, yung x natin is negative po. No? From positive to negative po siya. Yung y po natin is positive kasi nga dito papunta dun sa kabila. Positive siya. Para pa-forward yung value niya. Then si C naman po siya is paakyat, no? Kaya positive po siya. Pa-forward positive, paakyat positive, pa-kaliwa negative. Okay? So we have here t, value of t in terms of vector expression. We have here 2 times negative 1.2 all over the square root ni 1.2 squared plus 0.5 squared plus 0.1 squared. We have here 1.84i plus yung 0.5 po 2 times 0.5 all over the square root ni 1.2 squared plus 0.5 squared plus 0.1 squared. We have here 0.767 j plus the value of yung 1, 2 times 0.1 all over 1.2 squared plus 5.5 squared plus 0.1 squared. We have here 0.153k. Therefore, ito po yung value ng vector component ng t. Okay? Yan. So, unit is in kilonewton kasi naka-kilonewton po yung value ng t. Okay. Next problem po ulit tayo para mas maintindihan nyo. Okay, a rigid pole and cross-arm assembly is supported by a 3 cable shown. At a turnbuckle at D is tightened until it induced a tension T in CD of 1.2 kilonewton. Express T as a vector. Does it makes any difference in the result which coordinates systems is used? Okay. So yung huling questions na lang naman yan kung parang may bine-verify lang siya kung may difference ba yung magiging resulta kung sa iba ka sa iba ka tumingin, no? So kung sa iba yung direction nung pinagkuhaan mo. Okay. Let's check. So we have here this rigid pole, no, na may turnbuckle ito at ito, na kung saan ay naka tension wired siya para hindi siya umikot, no? So, sabi dun sa problem, from this point to this point, we have here 1.2 kilonewton na tension force. Pinapahanap is yung vector components po nung itong nandito. Okay, solve po natin siya. We have here solution number 4. Number 4. Okay, so let's assume na nandito po tayo sa point na to. Diyan po yung 1.2 nag-a-up. Okay, so to get the value, we have here C to D. C, D. Okay, so T is equivalent kay T multiplied by segment CD all over line CD. Okay, we have here T. Ang value ni T ay 1.2 kilonewton multiplied by coordinates. Ang CD po natin ay, ang X po natin ay ito, X-axis natin ito, Y-axis natin ito, and Z-axis natin is ito. So, yung distance po nitong X-axis natin is from this point O to point C, we have here 0.5, no? Ito, distance niya, 1.5. So, we have here 1.5 I plus yung J natin is from this point O to this point, we have here 3. So, ito ay 3J. Then, Z natin is from top to bottom. We have here downward arrow. Ibig sabihin, negative po yung value ng Z natin. So, minus Z, value of Z is 3 plus 1.5. We have here negative 4.5K all over square root ni 1.5 squared plus 3 squared plus 4.5 squared. Therefore, T is equivalent kay 1.2 multiplied by 1.5 all over the square root ni 1.5 squared plus 3 squared plus 4.5 squared. Therefore, ang I natin ay 0.321 I plus yung 3 naman tayo. 1.2 times 3 all over square root ni 1.5 squared plus 3 squared plus 4.5 squared. We have here 0.641J minus yung 4.5. 1.2 minus 1.2 times negative 4.5 all over 1.5 squared plus 3 squared plus 4.5 squared. Negative 0.962K. Therefore, ito po yung value ng tension wire natin in vector component. Okay? So, this will be the value of T in as a vector component natin. So, another question sa last, does it make any difference in result which coordinate system is used? So, kahit saan naman po ata na coordinate system ang gamitin, is pareho lang po yung magiging result niyan, no? So, kung magbalik-baliktad dyan, halimbawa, ito, naging 3J ka dito, tapos 1.5 I ka dito, tapos 4.5K ka, or basta mag-rumble po yung nasa taas, pareho pa rin po ang bibigay na sagot niyan, no? Basta alam mo, si I is in terms ng kay x-axis, si J ay in terms ni ni y-axis, at si K is nasa z-axis po siya, no? Okay. So, let's proceed to another problem ata. Hanggang 5 problems po ata to. Okay. Problem number 5. Problem number 5. The tension in the supporting cable BC is 800 pounds. Write the force which this cable exerts on the boom OAB as a vector T. Determine the angles and which the line of actions of T forms with the positive X, Y, and Z axis. Okay, so we have here dito na sa drawing. We have here this OAB na boom na nagkikarry ng weights na nandito. So, based dun sa problem, we have here cable at CB and cable at DA. So, dito daw si BC is nag-hold ng tension which is 800 pounds. So, yung 800 pounds daw po na yon is pinapahanap kung ano po yung vector component niya. Determine yung vector component, then yung angle ng bawat yung angle ng cable na to in each axis, no? So, kumbaga sa axis ng X, ng Y, at ng Z axis, ano po yung angle na na-form dito sa CCB natin. Okay? So, solve natin. Okay, solution number 5. We have here CD. So, BC pala. TBC is equivalent kay T multiplied by segment BC all over line BC. Okay? Then, T is equivalent kay 800 pounds. Then, yung BC is, again, is the coordinates ng, ng tension wire. So, let's say, ito si x-axis, ibig sabihin yan yung I. Si y-axis, nandito yung J. And si z-axis, nandito yung K natin. So, kung I ang pag-uusapan natin is ito. We have here, yung distance na to, from O to C is 6 feet. Pero may distance ka pa nandito sa kabila na 5 feet. So, we have here 2.5 plus 2.5 is 5 feet. Therefore, yung distance from O to, from B to C na x-axis, kung tutunturin nyo yan, meron kang 1 foot na I. So, therefore, we have here 1 I plus yung value ni J, yung component ni J, we have here from point O to this point. So, we have here 7 feet. So, since the arrow is, pag ganito po ang arrow natin, tension siya, negative po yung magiging value ng J natin. Kasi, papunta sa left yung Y natin. So, we have here negative 7 J plus yung paangat po, we have here from point O to this one, we have here 3 feet. Pero dito meron kang 1.5. Ngayon, from this point to this point, meron tayong 1.5 na ito, papunta doon. Meron akong 1.5 na height ng CB. So, meron tayong 1.5 K all over the square root ni 1 squared plus 7 squared plus 1.5 squared. Therefore, we have here TCB is equivalent kay 800 times 1 all over the square root ni 1 squared plus 7 squared plus 1.5 squared. So, we have here 110.67 I minus 800 times negative 7J all over square root ni 1 squared plus 7 squared plus 1.5 squared. We have here negative 774.72 J plus 800 times 1.5 all over 1 squared plus square root ni 1 squared plus 7 squared plus 1.5 squared. We have here plus 166.01 K. Therefore, ito po yung value ng tension TCB in a vector component. Then, pinapahanap po yung mga angles na kung saan ay nag-act yung natin. So, pwede natin gamitin yung value na to or pwede natin gamitin based dun sa given problem. Yung mga coordinates na lang ang gamitin natin. So, sabi ko kanina, to get the value of theta x, so, dito na lang siguro sa gilid. Cosine theta x is yung x, which is yung 1, all over the square root ni 1 squared plus 7 squared plus 1.5 squared. Yan po yung value ng theta x natin. So, theta x is equivalent kay arc cosine 1 all over the square root ni 1 squared plus 7 squared plus 1.5 squared. So, we have here theta x is 82.05 degrees. So, ibig sabihin, yung angle x natin is 82.05 degrees. Okay. Cosine theta y is equivalent kay 7, which is yung y value natin, all over square root ni 1 squared plus 7 squared plus 1.5 squared. Therefore, theta y is equivalent kay 7 over 1 squared plus 7 squared plus 1.5 squared equals 14.442 degrees. Okay, so check natin mamaya. Then, cosine theta z, we have here 1.5 all over the square root ni 1 squared plus 7 squared plus 1.5 squared. Theta z is equivalent kay arc cosine 1.5 all over square root ni 1 squared plus 7 squared plus 1.5 squared. We have here 78.023 degrees. Okay. So, kung may line of action ako dito, yung angle daw ng theta x from this point, ito yung x, y, and z. So, angle theta x is ito. Tapos, yung angle ng theta z is itong nandito. At yung y is itong nandito. Pero sabi, from positive side daw po. So, ibig sabihin dapat ito yung angle na yon. So, ibig sabihin yung angle natin theta y dito, which is 14.442, kailangan pa natin siyang i-minus dun sa 180 degrees. Therefore, the actual value of theta y is from positive axis is 180 minus 14.44. Therefore, yan ay lalabas. We have here 165.557 558 56 na lang. 56 degrees. Therefore, yung theta y natin dapat na actualize ito. Nandito. Ito yung theta y. Okay? Okay. Let's proceed to anong sunod? Topic. May ingay na. May aso at may nagbibigay ng information. Okay, so let's continue. So, couple, moment of a force. So, three-dimensional space, moment, and couple. So, pinag-uusapan natin ito yung pag-moment ng forces along axis or along a point, no? So, moment of a force, the three-dimensional geometry is generally more difficult to visualize. The vector cross product should be used to determine the moment. So, MO is equivalent kay R times F. Okay, where R is the distance of the positions vector that extend from point of moment. So, we have here kung magmo-moment ka sa point O, we have your force F times yung distance na R. So, kung itong force na tayo dito nag-act, so we have here this R. Kahit saang R po yan, value ng R, no? Pwede pong gamitin yan, no? Pwede akong maglagay ng R dito, dito, or yung D mismo ang gamitin natin. So, later, papakita ko kung paano yan nangyari, no? Okay. Next, we have here, if the position vectors R and F are expressed in Cartesian vectors, then the cross product results from the expansions of the determinants. Matrix tayo, we have here MO is equivalent kay I, JK, RX, RY, RZ, FX, FY, and FC. Therefore, MO is ito. So, paano po yun nangyari? MO is equivalent kay RY, FZ minus RZ, FYI plus RZ, FX minus RX, FZ, J plus RX, FY minus RY, FX, K. Yan ang haba. Okay, ito lang po yan. Di ba kapag kumuha tayo ng determinants ng naka-matrix, so we need to add I, Rx and Fx dito, tapos J, R, Y, and Fx dito. Kumbaga, ito, ikokopya natin dito sa kabila. Then, ang mangyayari, ito, multiplied ito. So, we have here Ry and Fz ito. Minus, pataas, itong Fy, Rz, tapos I ulit dito. So, kumbaga, nagko-cross, tayo. Kumbaga, pag ganito, positive, minus, positive, minus, positive, minus, no? Kaya ito nabuo itong formula ito. Okay. So, moment about an axis. So, if the moment of a force F is to be determined about an arbitrary axis, the projection of the moment onto the axis must be obtained. M prime is equivalent kay R times M. So, kumbaga, di ba, yung moment, kung yung couple moment is i-move natin or ililipat natin to a point. So, ito yung mangyayari. Magiging M prime siya is equivalent kay R times M, no? So, yung moment is i-moment mo pa dun sa certain point, no? Basta madidiscuss ko yan sa inyo kung paano yan kapag in-apply na natin sa mga problem. Okay, so paki-take note po dun sa natin. So, when the line of actions of the F intersects the axis, that then the moment of F about the axis is 0. So, kumbaga, kapag yung first po ay nagtama dun sa line ng axis na pagmomomenta natin, so ibig sabihin, walang moment na mangyayari kasi nga, dumaan siya dun sa axis na yun. So, 0 moment yun. Then, pangalawa, when the line of action F is parallel to the axis of moment, the moment of F about the axis is 0. Kung parallel po yung force dun sa axis na pagmomomentan, ibig sabihin, 0 po yung moment doon. So, kahit may perpendicular distance siya, hindi po siya magmo-moment kasi nga, parallel force po yung force na nandoon. No? So, ibig sabihin, kapag parallel po yung action ng force F dun sa axis of moment, ibig sabihin, hindi po siya 0 po yung moment niya. Okay. So, another formula ulit. We have here M is equivalent kay RA times F plus RB times negative F. So, kumbaga, para lalabas lang din yan. Ito lang din po yan. M is equivalent kay R times F. Yung same ng formula lang kanina. Then, para mas maintindihan ninyo yung mga pinagbabasa ko kanina, solve na lang po tayo ng problem. Okay? Okay, so we have here problem number 1. Determine the moment of a force F about the point O by inspection and by the formal cross product definition na MO is equivalent kay R times F. Okay, so una, by inspection lang daw. So, ibig sabihin, kung i-inspect natin yung force, which is ito, so, ibig sabihin, kung i-inspect natin siya, yung force na to is papupuntahin dun sa point O, ibig sabihin, hindi na siya mag-moment dun sa y-axis kasi nga, ang y-axis niya is parallel, no? Parallel po yung force F dun sa y-axis natin, ibig sabihin, moment at y-axis is 0. Okay? Then, yun. So, letter B tayo, by formal cross-product definition tayo. We have here MO, solution muna tayo. Solution. Number 1. For moment and couple moment. We have here MO is equivalent kay force times yung distance is equivalent kay para ako maka-moment dun sa point O, so ibig sabihin, kailangan ko mag-moment sa bawat axis niya, no? So, ito, at dito ako mag-moment. So, ibig sabihin, ito, multiply doon, gagalaw nito, ang galaw nito para dun sa x-axis is pag ganito. So, we have here F times C I. So, clockwise siya is negative. Okay? Times C I. So, since sa y-axis ka nag-moment, so may, sa x-axis ka nag-moment, may kasama siya na I, no? Negative. Kasi, clockwise yung galaw natin. Then, plus, kung ito is papupuntahin ko sa z-axis, tama bang ang galaw niya ay pag ganito? Ibig sabihin, ang moment ko ay pag ganito, counterclockwise. Therefore, positive po siya. So, we have here force times perpendicular distance A times K. So, since nag-moment ka sa z-axis, meron kang K na kasama. Ito yung sabay inspection, no? So, sabi ko kanina, hindi na siya mag-moment kay y-axis kasi nga wala namang parallel siya, no? So, lalabas we have here MO is equivalent kay force times negative CI. Lalabas ko lang yung F plus AK. So, therefore, ito po yung sagot natin by inspection, no? Then, let's solve by definition of MO is equivalent kay R times F, or MO is equivalent kay R multiplied by F. Okay, we all know that R is yung itong point na dito, papunta dito sa yan. Okay? Then, ito yung R. Therefore, para makuha natin yung R, we have here MO is equivalent kay negative component ulit tayo. Negative CI plus AK times F. Okay? So, MO is equivalent kay F times negative CI plus AK. So, ito. Kumbaga, pagkuha natin ng R is ano siya, actually dapat Pythagorean theorem siya, di ba? Pero dito kasi pinapakita lang na ito at ito ay pareho. So pero di ba, alam natin na since naka-vector quantity pa siya, I and K pa. So ibig sabihin, pwede natin siyang gawin na CI plus AK pa, no? So kaya naging ganyan yung sagot natin, no? Pero actually, yung R po diyan is kung baga ano na siya, naka Pythagorean theorem dapat sakali, no? Okay. So next problem tayo para mas marami tayong mas maintindihan natin, or mas mapalalim pa natin yung pagkakaintindi natin sa pag-moment ng mga forces. Okay, we have here problem number 2. The turnbuckle is tightened until the tension in cable AB is 2.4 kN. Determine the moment about point O of the cable force acting on point A and the magnitude of this moment. Okay. So we have here 2.4 kilonewton na force ito mag-act dito. So we have here 2.4 kilonewton. Then we have here solution. number 2. Okay. Solution number 2. So we have here 2.4 kilonewton. Tama bang ang formula ko ay M at O is equivalent kay R times force ulit or yung tension. R times F. So since ang pinapahanap po is yung force po, so gagamitin natin, kailangan natin yung F is naka-vector quantities pa po tayo. So yung 2.4 is i-component ko siya as X, Y, and Z component. Para pag moment natin, tuloy-tuloy po tayo, no? So we have here, to get the components, sabihin ko siyang CT AB dito equals T times segment AB over line AB. Okay. TAB is equivalent kay 2.4 multiplied by AB. So, ito yung x-axis natin, y-axis, and z-axis natin. So, therefore, ito is 1.6 at yung kabuuan nito is 0.8 lang tong nandito. So, ibig sabihin, meron tayong 0.8i. Kasi nga, from this point, 0.8 lang, no? 0.8i plus yung j natin, which is ito, yung y natin, 1.5j plus yung z ko is 2k all over the square root ni 0.8 squared plus 1.5 squared plus 2 squared. Therefore, TAB is equivalent kay 2.4 multiplied by 0.8 all over the square root ni 0.8 squared plus 1.5 squared plus 2 squared. We have here 0.731i plus yung 2k po ay negative kasi downward yung force natin. So, therefore, ito ay negative. Malulobot na ako. Okay. So, 1.5 tayo. 2.4 times 1.5 all over the square root ni 0.8 squared plus 1.5 squared plus 2 squared. We have here positive 1.371j minus 2.4 times negative 2 all over the square root ni 8.8 squared plus 1.5 squared plus 2 squared. So we have here negative 1.83k. 829k. Okay, so we have here TAB is equivalent kay 0.731i plus 1.371j minus 1.829k. Okay, so ngayon, we have here this formula, MO is equivalent kay R times F. Therefore, MO is equivalent kay R. The value of R is, pwede kong sabihin, ito from this point or ito from this point, no? Ito to this point, pwede kong si R. Or ito from this point, pwede rin si R, no? So, kahit po saan dyan, basta yung point ng tinamaan is makukuha mo, no? Okay, so let's say na ito yung R. ROA. So, we have ROA. So, ang ROA natin ay meron tayong X and Z component. So, therefore, si R natin is si 1.6i kasi nga x-axis siya plus yung 2k multiplied by the value of f, which is ito. Nasa ilalim. Okay? So, mukhang hindi kakasya yung solusyon. Wait lang. Ilipat ko na lang dito. Okay? So, basta, tandaan nyo kung anong value nito, Okay. So, we have here, MO is equivalent kay ROA multiplied by TAB na tayo. So, MO, ang ROA natin ay 1.6i plus 2k multiplied by 0.731i plus 1.371j minus 1.829k. Okay. So, therefore, para makuha natin yung value ng MO, so we need to cross multiply. No? Sabi ko nga kanina, yung I, J, K, tapos mag-I, J, K ka ulit. No? So, we have here I. Yung I natin is 1.6. May I din ako dito, which is 0.731. J, wala akong J dito, so ibig sabihin 0. Pero may J ako dito, which is 1.371. Then K, which is dito, meron akong 2. Dito, meron akong negative 1.829. Then, kopyahin ko lang ulit yung ito. Meron akong I na 1.6. Tapos 0.731. Meron akong J, 0, 1.371. Meron akong K, 2, negative 1.829. Ngayon, pag samahin mo ito, we have here MO is equivalent kay 0 multiplied by negative 1.829. Tapos, another I ito. Habang lahat ng pagganon is positive, pag ganyan ay positive, ito ay negative. Pag ganyan. So, we have here negative 2 times so, ito yung 1.371 times 2. So, I po yan. Plus, another, ito. We have here 2 times 0.731 minus, ito, pag ganito ulit, pataas, negative 1.829 times 1.6 J. Diba ang haba? Hindi na magkasya. Ito. Plus, yung K naman tayo. So, we have here 1.6 times 1.371 minus 0.731 times 0K. Okay? So, ngayon, we have here MO is equivalent kay negative, ito, pagsamahin mo lang, so ito ay 0 na, we have here negative 1.371 times 2, we have here negative 2.742 I, tapos ito pagsamahin natin, we have here 2 times 0.731 plus, magiging plus na to kasi negative, plus 1.829 times 1.6. So, we have here 4.39. 4.39 plus J. Ito, plus ulit siya. 1.6 times 1.371. 0 na to. We have here plus 2.194K. Therefore, ito yung magiging moment component natin in vector. So, we have here M is equivalent, MO is equivalent kay square root ni 2.742 squared plus 4.39 squared plus 2.194 squared. Therefore, MO is equivalent kay square root ni 2.742 squared plus 4.39 squared plus 2.194 squared. We have here 5.62 kilonewton meter. So, ito po yung value ng moment at point O. So, di ba ba? Yan. Yan po yung solusyon. Then, sabi ko nga kanina, pwede nyo rin gamitin itong O, B na to, na R. Pwede rin po yan. So, lalabas. Papalitan nyo lang po yung value nito. Then, magkakaroon ka ulit ng panibagong equation na to. No? Okay. So, para mas, may another solution pa naman dyan, no? Kasi kung sa ganyan, medyo nakakalito yan, or nalilito kayo dyan, pwede naman nating isa-isahin, no? So, we can moment it by component, no? So, pakita ko lang din sa inyo kung paano yung by moment. So, pakitandaan po we have here 2.742, 4.39, and 194. Okay, dito balik tayo. So, sabihin kong, since ito yung first T, so kapag kinomponent po natin yan, meron tayong pag ganito. Tama ba? Okay. Then, ita-transfer ko po siya sa moment dito, sa x-axis, sa z-axis, and sa y-axis. So, let's another solution. So, summation, moment, x-axis tayo. We have here, kung sa x-axis tayo, ito. So, pag sa x-axis po, yung pag itong force, yung itong force na to is papass through dun sa x-axis natin. So, ibig sabihin, ito ay hindi mag-moment. Tama ba? Then, yung fx natin, sabihin ko ito yung fx, f, z, and c, f, y. So, ibig sabihin, pag mag-moment ako sa point O along x-axis, so si fx and si fz ay hindi mag-moment kasi nga si fz is nag-pass through dun sa line sa axis ng x. Tapos yung si fx is parallel. Tama ba? So, ang lalabas, si fy na lang to. To get the value of fy, so we have here 2.4 t times yung fy natin, which is 1.5 value. Fy natin is itong coordinate niya, 1.5 all over yung 2.6249 times perpendicular distance, which is, kung ito yung fy natin, papunta sa x-axis, may perpendicular distance ako na 2. Ito. Fy, papunta doon, may 2 akong distance, times 2. Okay. Saan po nakuha yung 2.6249? So, yan pong 2.649 ay nanggaling po yan dun sa equation kanina natin na square root ni 0.8 squared plus 1.5 squared plus 2 squared. So, lalabas yan ay 2.6249 po. Okay? Okay. So, mx natin is equivalent kay 2.4 times 1.5 all over 2.6249 times 2. So, we have here 2.74 kilonewton meter. Yung moment niya po is pag ganon, ibig sabihin, naka-clockwise tayo, no? Clockwise. Ganyan yung position, yung direction. Then, moment at y-axis naman tayo. So, kung sa y-axis tayo mag-moment ito, ibig sabihin yung Fy natin is perpendicular. Parallel pala. Yung Fy natin is parallel, ibig sabihin hindi na siya mag-moment, no? So, ang mag-moment na lang po is si Fx tsaka si Fz. So, si Fz natin, to get the value of Fz, so ang galaw nito ay pag ganito, pag galaw nito ay ganyan din. So, Fz natin, ang Fz ko ay 2.4 times ulit, yung z natin, coordinate, ang z ay 2 all over 2.6249. Perpendicular distance ng ito, z, papunta doon is 1.6 plus yung fx natin which is 2.4 times 0.8 all over 2.649. 6249 pala. 2.6249 na makita. Multiplied by yung perpendicular distance. Ang perpendicular distance niya ay 2 ulit times 2. So, my is equivalent kay 2.4 times 2 all over 2.6249 times 1.6 plus 2.4 times 0.8 all over 2.6249 times perpendicular distance which is 2. Therefore, meron akong 4.39 kilonewton meter. Ang movement niya ay counterclockwise. Okay. Then, we have here mz. Mz natin, kung mag-moment ako sa z-axis, itong z-axis natin ito, so, ibig sabihin yung fz natin is parallel, hindi na siya mag-moment. Si fx, kung tuloy-tuloy po natin yan, tama bang nag-pass through siya dun sa z-axis? So, hindi na rin siya mag-moment. So, lalabas yung fy lang po ang gagalaw. So, we have here fy which is 2.4 times 1.5 all over 2.6249 times perpendicular distance niya na is ito, papunta doon, 1.6. Therefore, mz is equivalent kay 2.4 times 1.5 all over 2.6249 times 1.6. We have here 2.19 kilonewton meter. Ang galaw po nun ay counterclockwise. Tama? Okay. So, ang value po natin is ito, at ito. So, to get the value of MO, we have here, since clockwise siya, negative 2.74. Since mx siya, meron tayong I plus 4.39 J plus 2.19 K. Okay. Double check po natin kung pareho po yan dun sa sagot natin kanina. So, we have here ito 2.74 4.39J and 2.19K. So, 2.74, 4.39, and 2.19K. So, pareho lang po siya ng sagot, no? So, kung ganitong process lang sa iyo, isa-isahin mo i-moment yung component or either ganito yung process na gawin mo, no? Yun. Okay. Siguro, magpo-post lang po muna tayo or ikakat ko po yung video hanggang problem number 2. Kasi mahaba na yung oras ng video kasi baka mahirap nang i-upload, no? Tsaka, alam ko, maboboring kayo kapag sobrang haba yung video. So, yun. I do hope na naintindihan nyo yung discussion natin about the 3-dimension force system, yung pagkuha ng component, pagkuha ng moment, no? Pag-moment ng mga forces na 3-dimensional force system. Okay.